Okay then, quick thoughts on the game over the weekend, the game that concerns my club, Brighton versus Manchester United in the Cup semi-final at Wembley there. Well, we got through. After getting beat last week against Seville, I was really concerned, as I said at the time. I think Brighton are a better team than Seville. I really do. I was really worried. When I seen the team we picked, I was more so. When I seen the centre-backs, I was more so, yet they played well. What I will say though, the main focal point for Brighton would have been Welbeck. I would have expected most anybody to cope with Welbeck. No disrespect to old Danny Welbeck there, but there's better centre-forwards around. But Brighton have really, really technically gifted players, play with a lot of pace, keep the ball well, run at you. They're a difficult team to beat. So as I say, when I seen the United team, I was panicky. I'm very panicky. Brighton played really well. Felt really sorry for them. I think they're a greatly run club. I think Tony Bloom has done a fantastic job. Don't know the manager, but he's doing a good job. Felt sorry for them because I think I'm probably on the balance of things. Again, it's another game that we've won and probably not been the best team. I think I probably would agree with old Peter Schmeichel there. Had De Gea again not been brilliant, we would have probably been out. Don't get me wrong, we missed a few chances, but I would suggest they missed even more. Don't get me wrong, we had a couple of periods, maybe a 15-minute one and a 10-minute one where we were the better team, but I think overall they were probably the better team for longer periods. But we got it done. But thoughts on a couple of players and obviously a change of tactics there. I mean, what I will say is it's the first time in months and months and months I've watched a game involving Man United where I've not had my heart in my mouth. The first time. And that was because, to all intents and purposes, Eric learnt his lesson from last Thursday and we stopped this playing out from the back. Because as we've discussed in the last video and the video before it, the first video regarding Manchester United tactics, we just cannot play out from the back. We're just not capable. And De Gea especially is not capable. We barely did it yesterday. We weren't taking dead balls and passing out from the back, but we did pass it along the back line a few times. And again, a couple of times, we sort of almost came, when I say came unstuck, a bad last pass only went 15 to 20 yards and they were either going out of touch or they were intercepting. But it wasn't as bad as in the past where they straight on goal. So we took the decision not to play out from the back. I think that was a great thing and it worked for us. But De Gea, you know, after what he went through on Thursday, to come back from that kind of performance and save what I think 4 wonderful saves yesterday, wonderful saves, and a couple of other really good ones, says a lot about his character. And I think should he stay, then Ten Hag has just got to realise he cannot play from the back, and we don't do it anymore. If Ten Hag is adamant he wants to do this, then he doesn't stay. He needs another goalkeeper. Simple as that. But the other thing I will take from the one of the first videos that I did when I first started up a couple of weeks ago, the Manchester United tactics, it was about 2 things. It was about passing out from the back and crosses from wide areas, be it from full-backs or wingers. Still abysmal, fellas. It's got no better. If anybody's got that match taped, I call it tape, that's what we used to call it, I don't know what they call it now, recorded on record and can watch it again, look through that whole 120 minutes and let me know how many great crosses came in from wide areas and actually found Man United players in space or found heads of Man United players. Look at how many corners did the same. Woeful. It really is. Our fullbacks and wingers, it's dreadful. But if I can pick out on a couple of players, I'm going to have a go at one because I have a go at him all the time. But not so much to have a dig at players, just observations. Let's get the dig out the way first. The dig, again, is Iggy. It's always Iggy in my eyes. If it's not Wan-Bissaka, it's Iggy. And again, Wan-Bissaka getting loads of praise in the press. Did a couple of good things yesterday? Yes, he did. He did a couple of good things. He might have done 3 or 4 good things. Did 3 or 4 bad things, but did 3 or 4 good things. People just seem to be focusing on those at the moment. But what I'll say, and I'll keep saying it till I'm blue in the face, and hopefully I'm not going to go blue anytime soon, we will not play great up that flank with Wan-Bissaka in that full-back spot. We won't. Because as I've said before, the winger in front of him will always be stood still waiting for the ball. He'll never get the ball while the winger's running forward. The ball will never come over the top of the full-back. It'll never come round the full-back, through the full-back. It won't happen. Wan-Bissaka's frightened to death. He won't do it. many times today again, he's charging upfield and he takes his touch, stops again, takes a couple of touches, looks for an inside pass. It's what he does. He's got no confidence in himself whatsoever. So we're never ever going to be really offensive on that wing. It just isn't going to happen. But Iggy, old Anthony Martial again, did nothing. I was amazed when I seen he was playing. Amazed. I know Weghorst doesn't get goals, and I know he's not that fast, but I know he closes down and gives his all, and I know he can be a handful. But after Martial being substituted at half time and walking off, it wasn't one of them substitutions where you think, oh my God, he's in a bad way, he's not going to be around for a week or two, like you got a couple of weeks previous with Rashford. You knew straight away Rashford was injured. You knew he was going to miss games. We'll go on to Rashford in a minute. But Martial, it's another one of those where half time ends, he's into the second half against Seville. As I say, he looks around, this crowd's intimidating. We're getting battered. It's not looking good. Like I say, my knee's hurting, or the other knee's hurting, or my foot's hurting. I need to go off. I've got to go off. I'm not well. Off he goes. And 3 days later, what was it, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday? He's starting at Wembley. On a pitch that's supposed to be really deep. Well, it's not like the old Wembley's. It was demanding. It used to sap your strength, I believe. But I can't believe it would start. I don't blame Ten Hag for this. Well, maybe I do a little bit. But I'm saying that I think Martial, as well as always being injured, as I alluded to last week and week previous, I just think he is definitely ungenuine. He cannot have been really bad or bad enough to come off on Thursday. Surely, if he's playing 3 days later in the Cup semi-final, he cannot have been. He cannot have been. But game started, first half came and went, he did nothing. Rashford, I have some sympathy with Rashford. I think Rashford offered very, very, very little. He got a little more involved, maybe in the last 10 minutes and a couple of minutes in extra time, but he looked completely off it. He probably needs either another week or so's rest or another game or two to get into it. I don't know which way it'll go, but it can't be it can't be that he's unfit because he's had so many games this year and he's carrying no condition or anything like that. Maybe he's just frightened of stretching himself, of hurting himself again and being out for the rest of the year. I don't know. Maybe it's a confidence thing and maybe that will come back. But Rashford didn't do a lot yesterday, not for such a great player. And then it takes me to Anthony and Sancho. I think Sancho's got to go. I think he's got lots of tricks and he often does lots of tricks but then loses the ball. There's not enough end product. He isn't over fast. Anthony, I'd persevere with him. He's going to get better. It's his first year. It's a brand new football league to him. The Premiership is harder than most anywhere else. He's playing a different kind of player, a better kind of player. He is going to get better. But his decision making needs looking at seriously. Absolutely seriously. And it's not just that he's constantly shooting when often people are in a better position. He's got to look at both. I'm happy with him shooting. I'm happy with him having a go. I'm happy that he doesn't get his head down when he misses and he's happy to have another go. But sometimes, Mr. Anthony, look up. If there's somebody in a better position, pass the ball. That's what it's all about. Passing the ball. Giving us a better chance to score. And it isn't only his decision making that way. He's still doing much, much, much too much on the ball. He wants to show us all his tricks. He wants to show us how he can keep the ball. Again, you're not the fastest player in the world, Anthony, although you're reasonably quick. Once you get past somebody, don't try 3 or 4 more tricks to have the pants down and then let them actually catch you and take the ball off you. You've gone past them. Get the ball in the box. Set an attacker up to score. You're constantly getting caught in possession, as is Sancho. It's no good. But on the whole, great win. It came with penalties. Great win. Great that we're in the final. We're definitely going to make top 4 in my eyes. We've won one trophy. We can win another. We're nowhere near as good as City yet. City are a much better team. With all our players in our best team, I don't think we're miles behind them. I really don't. For all, they're still a better team. But all our great players ain't going to be in. But in a one-off game at Wembley, if we can get some semblance of a team assembled there, we've got a chance. We've got a chance. All I will say is my final thoughts on yesterday and of the final at Wembley is I would expect City to probably beat us. I hope I'm wrong. But if we get to extra time, maybe there'll be a replay. I don't know how it's set up this year. But if ever we get to penalties again, for all De Gea was fantastic yesterday, and he was. With penalties, I've got no faith in him whatsoever. And I mean absolutely none. What I would be doing, Eric, is when they blow that whistle and say penalties next, I would take De Gea off and bring another goalie on. Be it Butland, if he's still there. I know he's going back. I don't know if he'll have gone back by the date of the final. Whoever it may be, get De Gea off and bring somebody else on, because he's nowhere near any penalties. What he resorted to, for the last 3 years today, was just falling to one side, not even diving, just falling one way and letting him have a free goal. He's nowhere near. I can't understand how such an agile shot stopper who's got reflexes like he has got reflexes with shots that are bulleted at him from 12 or 15 yards. Yet from the penalty spot, when they're often not bulleted at him, he's got no idea of where it's going to go, and he offers nothing. At least their boy got close to a couple, I think, put his hand on one of them. The only way De Gea was going to get close to anything yesterday was if the penalty taker had hit it against him. He looked absolutely all at sea. Get somebody else in a penalty shootout, because David De Gea isn't your man. That said, he had a wonderful game yesterday and he kept us in it. After Thursday night, fantastic result. Well done.